Welcome aboard Sea Venture. Join us and our crew as we slowly explore Mexico, the people, the culture, the anchorages, the cruising grounds, and everything it has to offer. This morning while we wait for our weather window, which is coming, last night we were woken up by the Sea Venture surging and moving all around the dock a lot. So today there's 13 or so foot seas out in Ensenada Bay yet again. And even though the cruise port Marina here is behind two big breakwaters, still moving around quite a bit today. And of course, out of all these boats here on F Dock, the two biggest power boats are us and the one right next to us. So let's see if I can show you what Sea Venture's doing here, just sitting here at the dock. Kind of hard to capture, but she's just moving back and forth and in and out. Then this beautiful Ocean Alexander is against us. So I wanted you to see the space between the two boats here. And we're both well fendered up, so we're good. But sometimes we're getting pretty close to touching. A view from one of our fixed cameras on the port side of the boat of the space between us and the beautiful Ocean Alexander next to us. You can see some of this surging in the marina and the boats moving back and forth. Woo, back, forward, left, right. Don't touch, don't touch. No, it's not going to touch. But it's pretty close. Makes the boat very big in the window when you're sitting in the salon.
Working on our daily chores.
Time to go do some shopping.
Yeah.
Okay, Rose, what did we buy in that store?
We bought the cutest little dress
For Livy.
for little Livy. And
She may have to grow into it.
In this region.
Yep.
So it's locally made. Yeah.
Yay, all right. Several people have asked about water in the marinas here for the boat and kind of how all that works, and I can tell you at least what we know. Here at Cruise Port Marina, like I think many marinas in Mexico, they actually have water meters at the docks and they charge. Here it comes out to about $11 per 250 gallons. But I think like almost all marinas, it is non-potable. It's not drinkable water. It's not water you would thus want to put in your water tanks on your boat if you're going to use that water for drinking or coffee or any of those kinds of things. What they do have is access to potable or purified drinking water. Is this machine that you put 5-gallon jugs in. Looks like it cost 5 pesos, which is 25 cents to rinse it, and $1 per 5 gallons to fill a 5-gallon jug. And we see lots of boaters up here with 2 or 3 of their 5-gallon jugs, and they're filling them up. We have not needed to use this, but we'll review what we have on Sea Venture so you can see why that's the case. So here in Ensenada is the Super Aqua 2000, the water store, where the locals buy their bottled water or water for drinking. Back down here in the engine room of Sea Venture, let's talk about how we deal with water aboard Sea Venture. Here in the engine room of Sea Venture, we have 2 tanks on each side, one behind each engine. These are not fuel tanks. These are our water tanks. And like all the tanks aboard Sea Venture, they're integral to the hull. That means the hull on the outside of the boat, below the water line, is the outside of the actual tanks, giving us a double double-hulled construction. Each tank has a 24-inch port to get into. There's the starboard side tank, and if I go to the other side of the engine room, the port side tank. Each tank is 600 gallons, giving us 1,200 gallons of freshwater capacity. And then in addition, SeaVenture has a US Watermaker's Watermaker, which we've been just absolutely delighted with since installing. It's got the main unit here, the seawater boost pump, and then the filters up above, which are pretty dirty right now. Our US Watermaker makes up to 1,000 gallons of water a day. So we have been really delighted with the Watermaker. Back in the salon, once you have everything set up on the Watermaker downstairs, you simply have a real simple start stop. Tells you when the pump's working, the boost pump's working, if there's a high salinity problem or if there's a pressure issue. Has worked fantastic for us. So on boats, Watermakers, you have a couple different kinds of options. You've got low power 12 volt lower output units. You've got high power 120 volt, sometimes even 240 volt, but 120 volt normally. High output Watermakers. And you've got Watermakers that come in a bunch of different parts, so you can mount different parts in different places for space considerations, or all built into one unit like ours is. So SeaVenture has a high power single unit all built into a frame. That's what worked for us. The 4 shorter tubes rather than the long 2 long membrane tubes, which is more commonly seen, was a modification that they made specifically for us. They were at US Watermakers, they were happy to configure the unit how you liked it, and that's kind of what I wanted, was what we got down there exactly. So anyway, aboard SeaVenture, we carry 1,200 gallons of fresh water on board, and we can make up to 1,000 gallons a day. So if you want to know how we conserve water on SeaVenture, you're going to have to watch another YouTube channel. We can't really help you. We don't do anything really to speak of meaningful to conserve water. We use lots of water in dishes. We use lots of water doing laundry. We use lots of water taking showers. And once we can finally get out of Ensenada and start cruising, you'll see that at most anchorages, I will pull out a freshwater hose and wash the boat, because I don't like salt all over the outside of the boat. But in any event, that's how we deal with water in Mexico. So we don't put it in the tanks from anywhere here. We don't use a filtration system for shore-based water, and we don't really conserve water. We're very fortunate and feel lucky about that. But that's the deal with water on board SeaVenture.